and opinions expressed by callers, guests, and hosts do not necessarily reflect those of the Black Talk Radio Network and Black Talk Media Project. Black Talk Radio is new black media for the new millennium.
Dinar would have had serious consequences for the world financial system, but may also have empowered the people of Africa, something black activists say the US wants to avoid at all costs.
We're slicing cake. We're slicing cake. We're slicing cake.
Say the US wants to avoid at all costs.
We're slicing cake.
Say the US wants to avoid at all costs.
We're slicing.
Gaddafi didn't give up. In the months leading up to the military intervention, he called on African and Muslim nations to join together to create this new currency that would rival the dollar and euro. They would sell oil and other resources around the world only for gold dinars. It's an idea that would shift the economic balance of the world. Countries' wealth would depend on how much gold they have, not how many dollars they trade. And Libya has 144 tons of gold.
Welcome everyone to Thando Radio Show, brought to you by Black Talk Radio Network. I'm your host, Dave from LA, coming to you live from FEMA Region number 6. Today is June the 5th, 2017. It is a Monday. I just want to thank you all for listening to Thando Radio Show and being a part of this network and being a part of this show particularly. We greatly appreciate you all, and thank you for being who you are. So just want to say continue to support Black Talk Radio Network, and you can do that by going to www.blacktalkradionetwork.com, and that is the homepage for this network. And you can see there's right there on the homepage is the donation icon that you can press and be a part of the sponsorship, because there is no corporate sponsors that actually augment the overall cost to bring Black Talk Radio Network and all the programs that are brought to you by the network to you for what you pay as a listener, which is absolutely nothing. So if you would, please give some of your financial energy. You're here because it is something that you consider is valuable. Give some of your financial energy. All donations, great, are truly appreciated and will be put to use to maintain the overall direction and the message behind and the objectives of this network. Also, you can support the network by being a part of its BTR community. BTR community is a social media outlet that Black Talk Radio Network has put together for your social media activities. Very simple, very easy. You'll love it. You can post stuff about yourself, your business, things that you think are important, whatever it is that you want to bring light to, or what you do at other social media outlets outside of the. You could pretty much do anything within reason. It's not prohibited, but it's what I love about it is it's really informative. It's not nonsense based, and that's very important. So for $24 a year, one whole year, there's only 12 months in a year, and that is $2 a month. $2 a month for being a part of Black Talk Radio Network's social media outlet known as BTR Community. And you can also find it at www.btrcommunity.com, www.btrcommunity.com. And just go there and sign up. And then start posting. It's a lot of good information that always gets posted there. It's the only place that I post. So looking forward to you all in growing this, and this is another way that you can actually support BTR, Black Talk Radio Network. So come on over, get off of FedBook, because they are actually using you against yourself in so many ways. So check that out. Be a part of that. Also, if you would like to acquire real money, you can go to Prosperity Mint, PROSPERITYMINT, and you can start to save as a lady or a gentleman in silver, or as a king and a queen in gold. And just because we are paid a slave's wage of debt, being cash or currency, which is nothing more than paper, certificates or coupons or promissory notes, which have no intrinsic value at all. So outside of monetarily, no intrinsic value. It has intrinsic value for kindle for a fire and a bunch of other things that you could do with paper. So that's where this is where you can actually acquire some of the real 5 investment grades of the precious metals there at Prosperity Mint. And make sure that if it's your first time or if you purchased please email info@prosperitymint.com, and someone will get back to you, because we want to make sure that you are doing everything correctly and just explain the overall buying process to your advantage. Very, very important. So you can do that at Prosperity Mint. Okay? All right, so we're going to jump into what's in the news in just 1 second. Everything is up. Had some thunder showers, some inclement weather here, so hopefully the internet doesn't go down because it's so fragile here. But there's a couple other things I want to talk to you all about. July the 1st coming up in just a matter of 3 weeks, or roughly or so. We're going to have the Control Your Wealth seminar, and that is going to be here in Dallas. We'd love to see you there. It's going to be July 1st at the Dallas Library, Dallas Central Library, and it's going to be at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's going to be at the Central Library, Dallas Public Library, at 1515 Young Street in Dallas, Texas. So come on down, and this is going to be Control Your Wealth seminar put on by Prosperity Mint. Legacy Wealth Management will also be there. There are going to be other people that are going to be added to it as far as informational, some great stuff, great opportunities for you to add residual income to yourself and your family, and to benefit your overall physical health and your financial health. So come on down to Dallas. If you tickets are $300 per person, or for couples, and it doesn't matter how the couple is. Couples is $550, and you could go to Eventbrite and just hit Control Your Wealth seminar, and this is going to be a very, very important seminar, especially for what's going on in the world. Get you squared away with some of the opportunities. And the great thing about this is that everything that you walk away with here, you're going to be able to apply to your life for your overall financial, physical, mental, and spiritual gain, where it's going to benefit you so much with the opportunities. And then next year, for those that engage it's going to only grow. And those that come the first year, they're going to be looking back and saying, wow, I'm glad I came. Well, just as soon as they come and start going through all of the information that's going to be there, they're going to be happy that they came, and they're going to do very, very well in comparison to what, by not coming, because of the information is just that valuable. It's just that important, and it's things that you can use, and it'll be an opportunity for you to establish some things for yourself on your own, and to be more, more prosperous going forward. Very, very, very important. It's time to be self-determining and independent, and to do that, you have to be able to stand on your own. So this is collectively we'll be doing that. So some of the things that's going to be discussed there is going to be definitely trust and foundations is going to be a part of it. Legacy Wealth Management will be presenting that part of it. Also, Prosperity Mint will actually give a part of the precious metals class, an hour of the precious metals class. Very, very important part of it. Also, how to leverage things that are going on in the world and put into gain and to start to have residual income for yourself and your family, individually or collectively. Also, some things that you should be engaging in to better position yourself in controlling your wealth and establishing control of wealth. Also, there will be great opportunities for your health and your financial wealth. So very, very important for both. And this is so important. Your health is one of the most important measures of your prosperity. And that's one of the things we definitely need to be taking care of. And we will be doing just that. So come on down. It is going to be well worth it. You will be glad that you came, and everything that you spend to get there, and it will all be well worth it. And you will go away with saying, yes, this was definitely worth it for me. Because you'll be able to see the overall plans and things that you can do, and we're going to be showing you some of the things, and very, very important. I mean, just some phenomenal things we are doing, and definitely want to share that with you. It's been beneficial for me, and it is definitely positioning ourselves in a much, much more critical position, especially in spite of what's going on around us. Very, very, very important. So there will be some great, great opportunities, and they're only going to continue to grow. So come on down. Must be a part of it. It is so important. Okay, also, if you would like to, I'm sorry. Also, if you are a vendor, you would like to be a vendor. Also, there's a vendor's portion that's there for that. So just look at the tickets, and that will lay everything out, what some of the things are there for. But for the seminar, is $300 per person, or $550 for couples. Okay, so bring someone with you, definitely. All right, so let's jump. Got that one. And then there's also Trade Coin Club. You can definitely be a part of the cryptocurrency world and gain some start to own some cryptocurrencies. And one of the things I really wanted to get this stuff established before June, because I know that this summer is going to be very, very well in the cryptocurrencies. And for those of you that have joined up, make sure you finish signing up. Fund your account from the Trade Coin Club, because in a couple of days we're going to be giving away the trip and the American Silver Eagle. So definitely want to have that. Make sure that you're ready and eligible to that. You have to actually fund your account and be just starting the process. You got to fulfill it all the way through. That's when you are a part of it all. So Trade Coin Club, definitely. If you would like to get in on that, just go to ourcryptocurrency.com. ourcryptocurrency.com. That's where you can sign up. Very, very great. I mean, what I've gained out of this is very, very well, off of very, very minimal. Well, mine was minimal because I bought a Bitcoin a while ago. Okay, I bought a Bitcoin a while ago. Bought a Bitcoin in different stages, parts of it, and then so just was able to use it and leverage. But it doesn't matter. Whatever you use, whatever it is that you want to use with that, it's going to continue to grow as well. Definitely, the numbers are crazy. If you would like to, we're going to have, before we get going, we didn't get to, well, we did. I had it with just one person on Saturday. We are going to have a conference call for those of you that have started the initial stages of signing up. We will have that on Tuesday, tomorrow, Tuesday, right after 30 minutes after Thando Radio Show. We will meet up. You already know the number if you're in it. And if you join, I will send you the number and everything else, the conference call and the code. If you're already in it, just refer back to the text that I sent you in the beginning for that. Most of you already know what that is, and we're definitely going to jump back in on because I didn't get to speak to everyone this past weekend, but we will do it on Tuesday, tomorrow, 30 minutes after Thando Radio Show. Okay, so be a part of it. Join up on ourcryptocurrency.com. It's right there in BTR community, or you can just go to ourcryptocurrency.com, and that is spelled ourcryptocurrency.com, ourcryptocurrency.com, and then that will lead you to the TradeCoin club and doing great things. I'm very, very pleased with it. Very, very pleased with it, and just the side of it is doing so well. And for those of you that have already signed up, we're going to definitely talk about and show you some of the things that we're doing. And also in Dallas on July the 1st, every person that's there, we are definitely going to have to get you to get into it and start this and lay this all out because it's to your benefit. So important, okay? All right, so now let's jump into what's in the news. At any time during the show, if you'd like to get in on the conversation, don't hesitate. Give us a call, 866-510-9025, 866 510-9025. Wow, that one got me. 866-510-9025. Hit star. We'll see you in queue, and definitely we'll bring you up. I'm on the board, so I'll be able to see you today. So don't hesitate. Give us a call about anything that you would like to talk about. We'd love to hear from you, as always. So let's jump into what's in the news. All right, so first article we got there, latest one. This one came from Euronews.com, and I'm telling you, this whole thing is playing into. Well, let me give the name of today's show first and foremost. So today's show is going to be. Got to go back to the beginning. Oops. Today's show is the U.S. Purge has created an unstable situation globally for America. Could last 100 years. I meant to put hundreds of years. That wasn't just 100 years. That should be plural. Hundreds of years. And this is what I mean by that is that the purge, the world is divesting itself, moving away from the U.S., and this could last for a whole couple of centuries, because that's what has happened before in the past, and that's what they cyclical continue to rehash. I hope you hear some of the things that Brother Braggs is really saying and catching between what's being said, because absolutely right. The Atlantis and everything else, that's over here. It's been here, and it's been back actually put to bed for hundreds of years. It will remerge. But that's what one of the things about the society that we have to remember, that there is a game that's being played, and the game is to keep control over the masses so that the masses will never know who they really are and decide to be self-determining and independent. That means that the economy collapses and prosperity reigns. Very, very important. So that's what today's show is about, and we're going to jump into that. So let's jump into some of the articles that somewhat support that, and you can see what we mean, and then we're going to take a look at this and jump into today's show. And then, like I said, anytime you'd like to jump in, give us a call, 866-510-9025. All right, from Euronews, Germany to pull troops out of Turkey. Germany will have to pull its forces out of the Inclinch Air Force Base in Turkey. German foreign minister had said, despite last-ditch talks in Turkey, in the Turkish capital, Monday with Turkish counterpart to defuse a diplomatic dispute. Germany's chief diplomat admitted the two had failed to make a breakthrough. Now, why is this so important? Why do you care about this? This, ladies and gentlemen, is the breakup of NATO. This is the untying of NATO. It was no coincidence that recently, well, what was it, on Thursday, the celebrity figurehead Trump said that they are moving away from the Paris Global Climate Control Treaty, and the overall falling out between Germany and the U.S. and France and everything. This is all a part of it all, ladies and gentlemen. This is where NATO falls apart. Why is that significant? When NATO falls apart, that means all of the allies that the U.S. used to have will no longer have. Where will they go? They're going to go to BOOR. One Belt, One Road initiative. They're going to go to the New Silk Roads. They're going to go to the AIIB. They're going to join the BRIC nations. And this is the untying, and this tells very critical things. This is why you're seeing with some of the things that's going on throughout the world, because they're setting the stage for a global war that will be GNW1, Global Nuclear War 1, in relative times to what we've been schooled about history. So this is significant, extremely, extremely, extremely significant. This is why you see the things, the destabilization in different parts of the world, and it's starting to being magnified. And the mainstream media is the ones that are definitely trumpeting this all and are facilitating their role, their actual role. Very important. So check out that article. Next one. This is a good article. We'd love for you all to take a look at this one. From Business Insider. Here's the average net worth of Americans at every age. When I was in high school, the article says, when I was in high school, my high school quarterly report always told me which I was in with respects to grades. Every quarter, 10% was the first quarter. Second half, there were 495 students in my grades, so that meant that I was somewhere between 25th and 50th. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is an article you should be looking at from Business Insider. Here's the average net worth of Americans at every age. Don't know if we're going to have time today, but we're definitely going to take a look at this probably on Financial Friday. Okay? Very, very significant to me, telling you everything. Next article, this is from Consortium News. Hillary Clinton deceptively blames shifting. I'm telling you, man, this whole thing is, I think that it couldn't be a better script. This is all being scripted out, and they play their roles. They do what they told, so that they can do the ills of their temptations and what they like to do, from everything from you name it, from the foul things with children, the foul things with humanity, the foul things with animals. All just unnecessary, but the debauchery continues to reign because that is the system itself. Until we realize as the people that it's us that makes the significance, and we are the ones that determine the outcome of collectively, because the general population has the energy. It has the predominant energy force, but we surrendered it. So we surrender it to those that have a very strong energy force, because there is no opposition to it. So it doesn't matter how strong or how weak you are. if you're able to win because of no opposition, you become much stronger. That you have the appearance of being stronger than what you are, because the general population has been thoroughly schooled, has thoroughly been taught and domesticated to their own demise. And because of that, that teaching has resonated, and we have fed it and given energy to it, so it lives, and it becomes stronger and stronger. As just as anything else that's given energy, it has a more predominant position. Has nothing to do with the individuals that have orchestrated, has everything to do with how effective their tactics have been against the people by them surrendering. There is no excuse. The young people that are born, no different. But as you start to develop mentally, physically, spiritually, you choose to ignore what it is that you choose to ignore to satisfy your will. We have willed this into existence because the deception was there, the trickery was there, but the overall accepting of the trick was what we have come to perform. And we make all the excuses in the world. Let me tell you, here's one of the biggest excuses. Well, what can we do? Well, what can I do? I can't change this. We can't do this. You're not going to do that. You see how powerful? You see how powerful this spell has been over us? We have become extremely negative to where we only do what we've been told to do because we surrendered our free will completely. What I mean by that is this. We want things to change for the better for us in the situation that we're in, as long as the situation stays the same. We want this society to remain collectively. There are strong individuals that want it to change, and they refuse to be a part of it, even if their body is there. Even if their body is there, their overall free will and spirit is not. They just have to respond to everything around them. And what happens is that, we've been giving into the system is the only thing that we've known, so we think that the only success can be from within the system. We want the system to accept us because we think that that is going to make life easier and more comfortable, more livable. And we don't move. Don't move. But it's still a choice of everyone. And I'm going to tell you, there are going to be some people that are going to want to do certain things, others that don't. Those that don't want to do things, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that do not waste your time there and your energy there. Because their overall determination is stronger. Because your free will can only be surrendered or agreed upon by you. So if someone can't do, if you can't, we can't. If the great creator can't make someone do something, why do we think that we can? So just do what's for you, be self-determining, and start to move in that direction for you. And regardless of what the situations are, you can name all of the worst situations. Yes, 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 yes. That is a reality. because it was a process to get there. Now, when are we going to be about a process that changes and go in the direction that we want to go? If you were on a ship and a ship was sailing from one end of the world to the other end of the world, and you were on that ship, if you were not going to use more energy than what the overall propellant of that ship is, then it's going to carry you in the direction that it's going. Many of us are on it for the ride. So for those of you that are propellants, that actually want to do truly appreciate you, you need no validation from anyone. The validation that you have in the way that you resonate has been given to you so strongly that gift you have truly appreciated, and you refuse, absolutely refuse, to surrender it. You know that you are going to, and because of that, you've already won. My man Scotty said it best: resistance is victory. And there's so many ways to resist. So just wanted to say that, spent a little time there, but that's all right. So check out that next article we posted there. Well, it's a YouTube video. Man, this is a great YouTube video. Please check this one out. It's about social media. Please check this one out. Really good one, I think. It's a short video, too. Check out that one. Next one. This one comes from Politico. America's CEO fall out of love with celebrity figurehead Donald Trump. So check out that article right there. And this is all a part of the purge, ladies and gentlemen. Next, a lot of the stuff I put in here signifies the purge for our show today. Okay, next one is that this one comes from express.co.uk. North Korea versus the U.S. live. Update on North Korea says it's on the brink of war. The latest news. Check out that article from express.co. And definitely, this thing is definitely moving that way, because that's the ship that we're on that is being propelled. Key is, will we go? Because it's going. Key is, will we be on it? Will we be on it? So even if you're on the boat, you can still be absent. You can be absent of the body. Completely absent. Your spirit knows no bounds. So, and these are this is the truth, the withstanding truth that has been suppressed, not spoken, or spoken deceitfully to deter and to control you from knowing and living who you really are. So check that out. Next article is from Foxless News. Tillerson urged calm after 4 Arab nations severed diplomatic ties with Qatar. Secretary of State, celebrity figurehead Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, urged the Gulf nations to work out their differences after 4 countries severed ties with Qatar Monday, today, for allegedly embracing several terrorist groups and its ties with Iran. Tillerson, speaking alongside Secretary of Defense, celebrity figurehead Secretary of Defense James Mattis in Sydney, said he did not believe the diplomatic crisis would affect the war against the Islamic State. This whole thing is falling apart, completely falling apart. And, Scotty said something to me today that I had no clue about. Some of the largest, one of the largest refinery and the distribution centers for oil, the U.S. has now was under control of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Wow. Huge. Remember, always said, that is default, ladies and gentlemen. When your assets get seized in someone else, that's because you defaulted, and the U.S. is completely defaulting. This is a part of the purge, ladies and gentlemen. Critical infrastructure. Do you know how much oil the U.S. has? Woo! Wow. So much for the future economy that is going to be exploited by the rest of the world at the expense of the so-called citizens or the people that are living here. They're setting this whole thing up. And this is how you can get people to buy into this this so-called civilized madness. So, very, very important. Next article from Fox News. Mattis calls North Korea threats clear and present danger, criticizes ally China. Celebrity figurehead Secretary of Defense James Mattis said in uncertain terms Saturday that North Korea presented a clear and present danger, while also criticizing China for ratcheting up tensions over contested islands in the South Sea of China. Where do you think this is going, folks? Yep, that's where it's going, definitely. And this continues to unfold. Next article from Russia Insider. We will not flinch from building up nuclear facilities. Nuclear force. North Korea defiant in the face of new sanctions. North Korea has denounced its latest round of sanctions, placed on it by the the UN Security Council as a hostile act. Will continue to develop its nuclear arsenal at a rapid pace, foreign minister said. Foreign spokesperson said. So check out that. Next one, article, this one came from Bloomberg. All this stuff ties together, and I want you to see what this really is all about. Says Putin says he's not aware of Kushner's Russian channel proposal. Celebrity figurehead of Russia, Vladimir Putin, said he's unaware of any proposed from Jared Kushner, president, celebrity figurehead Donald Trump's son-in-law, to set up secret lines of communications between incoming administration and the Russian government. That is nonsense to say that Russia had collected compromising material about Trump. This is all falling apart. And, you know, one of the things that was so funny in this whole thing, Putin spoke about Kennedy being assassinated because he was trying to dismantle the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency. Boy, this stuff is getting bad. Getting there. So
hey, Dave,
check out that. Next article. Yeah, go ahead, Scotty.
Remember, I mentioned to you Ron Paul said the same thing last week.
And this was just Sunday. Oh, no, this was it was after you said it, Scotty. This was like, I think this article, let me check out this article real quick, because I know that he did a, 1 second, let me pull this article up real quick. Come on, computer, don't fail me now. Okay, here we go, real quick. Yep, Scotty definitely did, because speaking about Ron Paul, and this is what we talked about. We talked about this, you know, during the so-called celebrity figurehead election cycle. And this was he said this to be aired on NBC News, because Putin was on there. Putin says he's not aware of Kushner's Russian channels. Russian president speaks with NBC News in broadcast airing Sunday. Nonsense to say Russia had damaging dollars on Trump. So check out that. And in this, here's where he said clearly what's being said here. Let me pull it up. Very, very important, this, because, like Scotty said, this is all a part of it all, and this whole thing can definitely, is going to implode for the benefit of the system. We definitely have to put ourselves in proper perspective and put things and keep things in proper perspective. And we have to start to take control of our lives, because these were the lives that were given to us as a gift, and that gift has to be treasured, or else, just like, anything else, when you have children, when you give them gifts and they squander the gift, is because, that's not something that they truly appreciate. Because sometimes what we do, but it's difficult, because sometimes we give gifts that really don't mean anything. They're consumerism. This is why but the great gifts that the great Creator has given us are life-sustaining. This is why we have a terrible quality of life now, is because we squander the gift that was given to us. So it wasn't in this article, but there was one I read in where Putin had definitely talked about that. I probably posted it here. We'll see it in a little bit. But Scotty is absolutely right. Next one article was about the severed ties with Qatar. And this is all significant, ladies and gentlemen, because before you go to war, that's one of the things that you do is you call back your diplomats, you sever ties, and lo and behold, what happened? Oh, Germany and Turkey is doing that now. Oh, pretty soon Germany and France will be doing that against the U.S. and severing ties. And this whole thing is rapidly falling apart. So you need to know and be prepared accordingly so that you can put yourself and your family in a position of advantage. Next on, we're going to play this video just so it's real short. I'm going to play it. Next article, this one comes from Kishler's Companies. The business cycle is fully right. We have begin to see the event horizon. Lance Roberts of an economic slowdown in several indicators. Adding to that, the counterintuitive, perhaps, an unemployment rate this low, 4.29, is a signal to run away from the stock and to run into treasuries. So this is this article you definitely want to read and digest and see what's being said. The setup is definitely there. Next article, I got this from Mike, New York mayor commits New York City to Paris Agreement. So this is the purge, ladies and gentlemen. Not only is the U.S. being divested from abroad, it's being shattered here, because that's how you do this, is a methodical tearing down. This is what mainstream media's job is to do and everything else. So check out that article. So now cities is not just New York. LA, other cities are now going to try to do and uphold treaties with other countries, and this is all a facade. It's all a setup, because this is plausible deniability to get to you what they want. And the real agenda is to enslave and subjugate the people of the world even further. And how do you do that? Is you raise up empires, and then you have them fall to your advantage on your timing, by your means and your methods, as the system, as those that control the assets and those that want to maneuver to where you surrender up some of the greatest assets that you have is your energy to their overall decisions, where they tell you where to place your energy. That's probably the best way that can be explained. Your energy was given to you, but someone else says, hey, no, I'm your God, and I want you to place your energy here. And see, the thing about having a God is this: doesn't become relevant until you obey. That's why they have that word obey. What does that word truly mean? Surrender. It means to give in. It means to do what you're told. It means to live for them. It means that you are enslaved. Why would the great Creator require you to obey from which we've been taught about obeying from the system? Have you ever really looked at it from the way that they set it up? That's nothing more than a slave master, a taskmaster. It's not the great Creator. They're not the great, and it's all around us. The great Creator's work is all around us, but we can't see it anymore because we've been stricken by civilization. And now we obey in God that they trust. It's not the great Creator. So check out that, and we'll elaborate on that at an appropriate time. So check on that. Next article, this one is from Washington Examiner. Macron invites Americans to flee to France after Trump chooses to exit the Paris Agreement. Telling people in the U.S. to flee to France. Why? Because France is going to leave NATO. This is huge, folks. You may think that this is small stuff, but this means that your children, your grandchildren, and everything else is going to be in a major, major war that's going to last for a very long time, or is going to last for a significant time, and time enough to do the job, and the U.S. will not be the states and the country that you've grown up in as. It will completely. You think that things changed after 9/11? You think things changed after this event, that event? They're also going to have nothing on what this is. It will be a figment of speech. And then you know what's so crazy about it? The generations won't even know this. It won't be just one generation outside of what it is right now. One generation outside of the schooling will never. The young people won't even have an inkling about the U.S., nor will they care. Oh, this is so... One generation. And that generation is already living now. There's parts of the millennial generation, as they're called, that can easily forget about the United States, and it's very easily. It's not something that's difficult. It's been done so many times before, and it follows a pattern. And that's what's happening here, ladies and gentlemen. So check out that. Next one, I said right-click this one to translate to English. This is the Banco de Popular told its CEO told its board and its shareholders and its employees not to worry. We're going through some hard times, but don't worry. We'll get through this. Famous last words. And happens all the time. We have to be self-sufficient. Your energy, your life, your responsibility. Come on, y'all. Let's do it. Next article. And this one is, I had to pull this one up, didn't come up. Okay, this one's a good one from kcresearch.com. This upcoming Black Swan event could wipe out your life savings. Great article. Republished. I had to republish this one because it is so true. This is definitely coming around, and we'll definitely take a look at this in the on Financial Friday. This upcoming Black Swan event could wipe out your life savings. But we have some options for you to engage in now while the leverage is much better. But pretty soon, those windows and doors and those opportunities will get a little tighter. And when they do, it'll be difficult for you to slide in. They're in a position now where you can walk in. Yes, there's going to be some sacrifices. Yes, it's going to require you to do some work. Yes, there's going to be, but you should not be afraid of that. You should actually be drawn to it and want it, because it's about you establishing your prosperity. So we'll take a look at this one on Friday. So check out this one just so you know that it's there. Really, really good and important article. Next article, this one comes from International Man. They killed Bitcoin 129 times. Each time it came back even stronger. Doug Casey at a recent investors conference in Miami, I heard a presentation about this little-known market from a former hedge fund manager named Tika Quinn, and Tika is extremely well connected in this market, travels all over the world meeting with experts. He explained that over the past year that this market has taken off. So check out this article, very, very important things that you need to know. Next article comes from Reuters, special report, ghost collateral haunts loans across China's banking sectors. Check this out. The bankers at the other end of the phone line was furious. We called Shanghai lawyer Wang, a pile of steel pledged as collateral for a loan of almost $3 million from his bank. China's CTIC had vanished from a warehouse on the outskirts of the city. What's going on here? They're saying they're ghost collateral that China doesn't have. And I'm going to tell you something. In my opinion, this is all a part of the setup, and we're going to talk about this definitely in the second hour. This is one of the ones that we're not going to completely highlight this one, but this speaks volumes, and I'll tell you why that's so important. It's a setup, y'all. It's a setup. Is being same thing, but far, far worse. Been done before. Next article. This one comes from Bloomberg. S&P and Moody's downgrade Illinois to near junk, lowest ever for a U.S. state. S&P, Standard & Poor's, Moody's, their credit rating agencies for businesses and hedge funds and things of that nature. Just put it this way. This is just like TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian downgrading someone that you or a family member or whomever, downgrading their credit to junk. Now, what does that mean? Think about it. If you know someone with extremely, extremely bad credit in this society, in this debt society, in this debt economic situation, is their life made a whole lot easier or a whole lot harder compared to someone that has good credit? You already know the answer to that. The state of Illinois is junk status. So you know what that means, ladies and gentlemen? And we definitely got to take a look at this one. The pensions are already gone. The future promises of Illinois is going to be gone. And not only Illinois, that's going to adversely affect every state tied to Illinois, which is all of them. All of them. This is a major, 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 major story that got no play anywhere. But here on Thando Radio Show, we've been talking about this because it's never scared, always prepared. This is why July 1st, you should be in Dallas at the Controlling Your Wealth seminar. This is why you need to be in some of the things that we are doing with the cryptocurrencies. This is why you need to be saving in real money and real assets, because later on, when everyone else didn't do it, and for whatever the excuses that they had, they didn't do it, you will have the overall, because you did do and you had the discipline to do it, you will be extremely, extremely leveraged. Discipline. And it is something that has always been beneficial to those that practice it. It becomes the keystone to their overall decision making. And we all need to have more discipline. So this is something that is definitely, you may not have created it, ladies and gentlemen, but you've been targeted. You don't have to be a sitting duck on this. So many things, and we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this. This is very, very important. So check out that. Next article from the Daily Reckoning. China's next step to destroy the dollar. The Daily Reckoning. China is currently modifying the terms of its oil trade with Saudi Arabia specifically. Stop right there. Scotty, this is another one we're going to carry. Scotty told me something that I had no clue about today with the overall oil infrastructure distribution and the overall, some of the largest oil production rigs and just the oil. If you got the production lines, then you also got the overall oil. This is huge. China is working a deal to pay Saudi Arabia oil using Chinese yuan. This effect poses a direct threat to the security of the dollar. We've been talking about this. This is definitely one of the things, and we're getting ready to go to a commercial break. If you'd like to get in on the conversation, there's a couple more things that we got to talk about, what's in the news, and we'll be right back to it. Man, this is all holding out. Where will you be?
Yeah, before you go, I think if I remember correctly, I did post an article on mbtrcommunity.com, so just go to my profile, Scotty.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think it's Port Arthur, if I'm not mistaken, is the name of, but it's the largest refinery in the United States, and they will be in control of a bunch of terminals, man, a bunch of, I guess they're pipelines or what have you. And
but they refine the oil.
Yeah, but it named mostly southeastern states, including half of Texas.
The refineries is where you turn the oil into to productive oil. Oh my gosh, that's the whole infrastructure. So as that being the largest refinery in distribution, that means what? Your overall energy. And then they're doing business with who? Oh man, we're getting ready to go to a commercial break. If you'd like to get in on the conversation, give us a call, 866-510-9025, 866-510-9025. Much love, much respect to you all. Thank you for listening to Thando Radio Show. We're getting ready to go to a commercial break. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
Black Talk Radio since 2008, providing new black media for the masses.
Okay, welcome back, everyone, to Thando Radio Show, brought to you by Black Talk Radio Network. If you'd like to get in on the conversation, give us a call, 866-510-9025, 866-510-9025. I'll see you in queue, and definitely will bring you up. So we're going to cut out, we're going to get to these next couple of articles and what's in the news, and then get our Mondays, as always, packed with news. So we're going to hurry up and get through this. Next one, strategic culture. NATO launches its own operations in the Middle East. Next article, very, very important, significant to this whole thing. L.A. Times, youth homelessness surge in L.A. Why are you here? My mom is a really bad mom. This one kid is telling this one person is giving them food. This whole thing is so, man, this is going to be bad. Next article, this one comes from Mail Online, which is a British publication out of the UK. European leaders' climate change deal can't be renegotiated. Telling the U.S. this treaty can't be renegotiated. You renege on this, man, this whole thing is setting up for the overall war. So check out that. Next article from Strategic Culture as well. Forgotten discussions about peace and stability. Washington's policy in the South Sea of China is confrontational. Very important article. We'll touch on some of that. And the last article, this is key. Ex-trader linked to Deutsche Bank is aiding U.S. A trader who conspired to manipulate future contracts in the precious metals committed those acts while working at Deutsche Bank AG, according to persons familiar with the matter. He is now cooperating with prosecutors. That story is beyond huge. It is economic terrorism. This is how you control resources to enslave people. And I'm going to tell you the power it is. Most would say, what are you talking about, Dave, is because you haven't done the real investigation. Slavery was started because of the precious metals. And it is the precious metals and everything that's attached to it is going to be key for your sovereignty. You may think that that's Davis. Yes. Yes, 100%. It started because of that. The only thing that's going to end it is that until it returns, until we have a proper relationship with it instead of an imbalanced one. Reason why I say it. Very, very true. So that's what's in the news. So we're going to jump in today's, so many. And it's today's show is that the U.S. purge has created an unstable situation globally for America and could last for hundreds of years. And when this does, as the untied states goes into full form, if you are prepared for it, great. If you're not prepared for it, great. The system will not really care. The one that will care is you. The one that will ultimately have the most appropriate response to it is you. 99% of things that happen to you sometimes are uncontrollable. In order for 99 to make 100, you need 1% more. And in that 1% of the uncontrollable things that happen to you, the 99 things or 99% of things that happen to you that's uncontrollable, number one, to make it 100 is your response to it all. When they totally change everything up and try to reestablish rebalance, reappropriate, reconvert assets that people need in order to maintain a reasonable quality of life, a expected quality of life, and a gift of quality of life. All of that is going to be reconfigured so that the self-entitlement will be taken over. See, they've created a society of spoiledness so that spoiledness can actually go against and be a part of to where you will actually just be disgusted at seeing people as being spoiled and think that a certain way and resonate a certain way with it. But see, here's the spell in that spoiledness. It's an entitlement, and then you'll start to hear entitlement. See, these people understand the power in speaking things into existence. And then we say, yep, and we buy all into that entitlement. If that means if someone's entitled to something, that means that someone has to be the one that is the heir of it, or that is the one that is leaving two heirs. And man can't leave you eternal things. Only the great Creator can. And yes, you are entitled to that, but not bratishly, as man has taught us to be entitled by consumerism, thinking that everything we're entitled to it all. Because of what? Because we have cash, because we have personhood. You're a president of this, you're a president of that, you're a CEO of this, you're that. All of the titles that man gives you, and that really doesn't mean a darn to other word, but it's a family show thing. You have birthrights. Man gives you entitlement, allowing you to engage. The great Creator is giving you birthrights. And those birthrights comes with responsibilities. When we neglect the responsibilities of our birthrights, then that's when there will be an evil energy that will come in that will entitle us to enslavement. this is what has happened to us, what we might have break away from. So wanted to check out a couple of articles that exemplify this whole thing. Everything we put pretty much here exemplifies the overall unwinding and the repositioning. There's a YouTube video I want to play real quick, and I want you to hear this. It's like 3 minutes long. I'll play it. Very, very telling. It's a setup. And I like to bring different things to you so that you, and sometimes we have to reinforce it because it's very, very important because of where we are and what our true capabilities are. We have to not only detoxify ourselves from the chemical poison, but we have to detoxify ourselves from the poison practices that civilization has taught us, society has taught us, as they've been lying all the way through. For the benefit, not of you. So check out this. We're going to play this YouTube video real quick. Let me see if I can get it over here. And then, yeah, we're good to go. So I'll be able to play it. Cool. Let me just set this up real quickly. Oh, no, I go back to here. I want to go to my history. I want to go to this one. Okay, so here with this 7 minutes. Hear this. Very, very important. Oops, let me set this up so that we can. And this has to do with what we can expect. And it's so true. Here we go. This just happened recently, this conference.
Futures. Thanks so much for joining me. Thank you. I wanted to talk to you about something that you're talking about here at the Strategic Investment Conference, and that's what's happening with North Korea and the United States. You're saying that it appears that we may actually be on the fast track to war. Why don't you unpack that for me?
Well, it's kind of a slow track to suddenly speed it up. We've been on this track for many years. What we're looking at is the indicators. A second carrier battle group has joined the Vincent off Korea. There's some indication the third one is moving to join it. F-35s, our most advanced fighters, have deployed to Korea. You have an exercise going on with over 100 F-16s in the skies over South Korea. And most ominous, if you will, civil defense briefings are taking place in Guam. And Guam is where our B-52s, B-2s, and B-1s are based, and that would be the main axis of attack. So if we're not going to war, we're doing a really good imitation.
The civil defense briefings, what does that entail? What does that mean?
In a war, you never know what the other side is going to do. And we know that the North Koreans are acting cocky for reasons that I don't fully understand. Let's assume for the moment that our intelligence is not quite right and they have a long-range missile. Let's assume that they might attack a assault from the sea. Any number of things might be the case, terrorism. You've got a civilian population on Guam, and remember, Guam is part of the United States. We have a civilian population. They have to be protected. So most of them wouldn't know what to do in the event of attack. I'm not clear that after the briefing you're going to know what to do, but at least you're going to make sure that to the extent they're ready. And when you start getting the civilian population ready, you've sort of made a decision, because that is going to panic a lot of people, and there's no reason to panic them for no reason.
We know what North Korea's offensive capabilities are on the Korean Peninsula in terms of being able to destroy Seoul, and I've heard estimates of under an hour in terms of artillery up on the hillsides overlooking Seoul that would devastate a city that has a population of nearly 20 million. But what sort of offensive capabilities does North Korea have against the mainland of the United States?
Probably, almost certainly, they don't have any, except a terrorist attack, that is special forces delivering some sort of weapon to the mainland, the ship coming in offshore. So the likelihood of that is very low. But remember, Korea isn't a lie. We have a large number of troops stationed there. And Seoul is a metropolitan area of 25 million people. I don't think they can destroy it in an hour. You can't load the shells that quickly. But they can do massive damage. So a great part of this war is not going to have to do with taking out the nuclear facilities. They're going to have to do with silencing the guns. And that's a lot of what I think the large strategic bombers are going to be doing. But let's remember, the North Koreans have an excellent air defense system. So that has to be taken out first. As in all wars, they get really complicated. It's easy to say do it. But this is a war that the United States has been planning for a long time as a contingency. It's also a war that the North Koreans have been getting ready for. Each side plans to surprise the other in some way, and that makes its precise course hard to predict. But that we are crossing a threshold here from the promise of military action if they don't stop what they're doing to military action.
Where's China in all of this?
China has used North Korea against the United States in the following way. Every time the U.S. has pressed the Chinese on a certain issue, the Koreans did something. The U.S. asked the Chinese to intervene. They did. The Koreans would stop, and then the topic we wanted to discuss, trade, never came back to the table. In this case, either the Chinese don't have the ability to influence the Koreans, or they don't want to. But in any case, whatever agreement Trump and Xi thought they had with each other is gone. Now, the Russians and the Chinese are saying, let's follow a diplomatic course. But I think the American view is, what diplomatic course? You have to have somebody to negotiate with, and they're not really negotiating.
So what about those that would say Trump's doing this for some sort of political game that he's playing? Because obviously his popularity, especially after the last week or two, is in peril.
Trump is following U.S. policy as has been laid down since the Bush administration, all through the Obama administration. There's a red line where they may very well have nuclear capabilities or attack their neighbors or the United States, and at that point we intervene. Secondly, my view is that Secretary of Defense Mattis and National Security Advisor McMaster have built careers on military integrity. And I think the interesting thing about Trump is he's let them do what they had to do. Trump may benefit from it, and I'm certain he's going to be attacked for inventing the war. But this has been American strategy in the region for several decades. And the North Koreans have chosen to cross the line, or to be seen as crossing the line. They've been warned, they haven't backed off. Either the red line is meaningless, or we're going to act. And I think the consensus in the intelligence community, in the Defense Department, National Security Council, is the likelihood that they are possessing nuclear weapons is high enough, and it is unacceptable to us that they do so, and there's a UN resolution against them doing so. That is time to act.
So what should our audience be looking for here over the next days and just a few short weeks here? What kind of a time frame are we looking at? What should people be looking for?
I would normally say let's look for the third carrier to show up, but I'm not sure that that plays a major role. Certainly I would think that Trump should be back in the country. He's in Israel right now before anything happens. But the United States has a habit of telegraphing war, not going to surprise attack, as we did in Iraqi Freedom, as we did in Desert Storm. We have overwhelming power, we think. They're not going anywhere. Letting them know that we're coming opens the possibility of a negotiation or a capitulation. And so they are going out of their way to make it clear to those who are listening that the United States is planning this operation. We didn't deploy a number of aircraft. We didn't warn the population of Guam. We didn't deploy carriers as a gesture. We are intending to use them, I think. And I suspect that we will, having entered this phase, wait until the Chinese can possibly reach an understanding, and then strike at our leisure and our convenience. Time is on our side.
Dr. Friedman, thank you so much for your time.
Okay. All right, so now, agree or disagree. To me, agree or disagree with that is semantics. But one of the things that's very, very important about this is what was said. Been planning this for a very, very long time. Some of the things that happen, and this is very, very important. Here's what's so significant about this. This is why I wanted to play this for you all, because this is known as the strategic investment conference. Okay? It's an investment conference These individuals are preparing and are prepping for the investment opportunities of a lifetime again. And how do they do it? Have the very same way that they've done it so many times before in the past. These investment conferences that you get invited to, did you know about this? Did you know that these individuals are here talking about this? Do you know that these individuals have ties into the overall companies, corporations, institutions that will benefit from that? Do you know what their overall agenda truly is? You can hear it at their investment conferences. And guess what? Not one person there is a doubting Thomas. Not one person there is impatient. Not one person there is looking at the immediate, but looking and planning afar. The U.S. has been planning this for a long time, which truly, read between the lines, the world has been planning this for a long time. And that's significant for a lot of reasons. Some of the reasons why that is significant is because of this. They plan for a new empire to arise, and they're going to have strategical leverage and emplacement there so that they will benefit from the wealth transfer. While the general population are the overall collateral that they're leveraging against. This whole thing is all a strategical plan. And it plays itself out that way, and has been playing itself out that way for a very long time. It's incumbent upon us to look at these things and say, wait a minute, something is wrong here. There's a conspiracy somewhere around here. If this SIC is happening, what about the other conferences that are clandestine? That the overall guest are people that you've never seen before, but you've never not known their presence, because their decisions affect you. And these things happen. This is why the system generally is able to garnish the energy that is garnished before, because it's organized. And the overall general population of the people aren't. See, they may hate each other, but they realize that they need each other in order to do what? Have prosperity run through them. See, we don't think that we need anybody else in the world. We don't think that we need somebody around the corner. We don't think that we need somebody on the other side of the globe. We don't think that we need somebody from somewhere else. Because the system has taught us that that individual is not an individual, but a person. That individual is a Russian, a Chinaman, someone from this country. They're this religious group. They're this economic. See, these are all falsehoods that are further from the truth at our own demise. We no longer look at people. We look at their person. And we respect their person. And we no longer have respect for people. And this happens because this has been indoctrinated. And this is part of the overall indoctrination of manifest destiny. This is how your powers are diminished, because your powers are so strong, they're not going to go up against them face to face. They're going to get you to lie those powers down. To change your diet, to change your water, to change your air, to change your attitude, to change your perspective. to change your views. And this is why we see persons, because we no longer have a relationship with people. There's another YouTube video that I put in here that goes along with this, what I'm saying, and it has something to do with social media. Please, it's short, 2 minutes, but it says a lot. It says a whole lot, and I say that because of the whole world is being orchestrated to a strategic investment opportunity. And it's not one that's going to bring prosperity to the many. It's going to have that wealth come from the many and go to the few because they're committed. They realize that they need those people over there. They don't look at the system the way that we do. They understand that it's there, and they understand that because it is there, they have an opportunity to use it, and they respect that opportunity to where they realize that I need to be properly positioned for this, else it'll pass me by. They realize that their system is so fragile, if they do not uphold it, it will go away. But see, it will go away only because of one thing. The people decide that they no longer want to play by their rules. And this becomes the deprogramming. We have to rewire ourselves. We have to get back to the true possibilities and capabilities. We have to see people and not persons. We have to see opportunity. We have to see the need. We have to see the responsibility. We have to develop the desire. This is why the food, the water, the entertainment, it's weighing us down. This is why the health. This is why the poverty, because those things are so they are such burdens. They're overwhelming burdens to where you become tired. And a tired spirit always obeys. Soldier always follows orders. And right now, we're seeing a theatrical unwinding of the U.S. because this theatrical unwinding of the U.S. fully engages the system. This is why France is telling people to flee, inviting Americans to flee to France. It's a purpose behind that. When neither the celebrity figurehead president of France nor the celebrity figurehead president here of Trump make any kinds of decisions at all. They carry the spells only. They carry the overall dialect. They carry the overall words and the energy. And they put that out because they're told to obey. And why are they told to obey? Because if they don't, they won't be entitled anymore. And so many of us don't want to be broke, don't want to be poor, don't want to be this. We want to be rich in this mentality of enslavement because we think that's where the land of milk and honey is. We want to be entitled. Many of the poor that would have the opportunity to do what these celebrity figureheads are doing, they would do it too. Why? Because everybody plays their role. There's a role that we've been taught to play. And by playing it, it's no different than Hitler when he played his role. It's no different than this person or that person when they played their role. Everybody rolling gives a lot of momentum to the movement of the system. Very few people put on the brakes and say no. I don't resonate that way. I don't see what you told me to see just because someone says something to me. You can hear them, but you darn sure don't have to listen. Big difference. And many that speak in today's world are thoroughly crazy and mentally ill. And so, right now, you're having a theatrical drama that's going to lead to their methodical approach is the most important one. The overall crisis that we should be preparing for has already happened for many of years and has been happening, and it's never, ever stopped. That's really the truth of the matter. Whenever a man works for another man or woman, whenever a man or woman works for an institution, that, ladies and gentlemen, is slavery. Whenever a man and a woman work together, that's collective prudence. That the ecosystem that's been natural in the ecosystem that's been created by the great creator. Anytime you work for, that word for, F-O-R, and that overall terminology and that definition was never created by the great creator. It was created by one that wanted to control and own what the great creator had given as a love offering. Because the only reason why you do that is because you know no love. And they've taught us not to love. This is how it's so easy for us to be manipulated into hate, anger, and to capitulate the overall process. There's many of us that have been so thoroughly confused by this stuff because we choose to be. Because we're just trying to make it in this society. That's our number one problem. Maybe we shouldn't make it. Maybe the walking away from it all has been established by man is not worth the eternal or the burden that is placed upon the generations where the prosperity is always lost. We make ourselves poor because we created and we allow that language to exist as a spell, and we write it into existence, and then we energize it into reality. So, now, gotta get ready to go to a commercial break. I missed it. Sorry about that, y'all. If you'd like to get in on the conversation, I missed the commercial break. Give us a call, 866-510, 866-510. If you'd like to jump in on the conversation, we'd love to hear from you. Give us a call, 866-510, and hit **. We'll see you in queue. We'll talk to you in 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Get ready to go to a commercial break. Much love, much respect. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
The Black Talk Media Project funds the use of new media technology in efforts to restore independent black voices to the myriad of issues affecting Afro-descendant people all over the planet. If media can control the minds of the masses, as Malcolm X once said, then you must ask yourself, who is in control of the media targeting the masses of black people today? Help bring back independence, self-determination, and respect for black culture in the production of global media by joining the effort to crowdfund new black media for the new millennium. Visit blacktalkmediaproject.org for more information on how you can invest in public black radio for the masses.
Okay, welcome back, everyone, to Thando Radio Show, brought to you by Black Talk Radio Network. I'm your host, Dave from LA, and we have a live show for you today. If you'd like to get in on the conversation, give us a call, 866-510-9025, and we are discussing and we're giving how the purge is happening. And the purge has been around for a very, very long time, very, very, very long time. It wasn't something that was made up for a movie, or it's been a part of the spell lexicon for a linguistics part of that for a very long time. Very, very, very long time. And this is one of the tools and tactics among the many that are used in the civilized madness that we live in. Just imagine if you were from a different planet, a planet where, just imagine for a second, a planet where nothing was ever built by the inhabitants that were there. They only used everything that was there in its original form. So if one was born a certain way, you didn't try to enhance anything, because everything that you were born into was already placed there already. So you lived as how things were already created. And you lived within those confines. Never knew the stress of this or that. Yes, there was things that things happen, the natural process of life, because there is a process for everything. But you respect it, and you respect it enough to understand that by trying to change something that you didn't create, you will bring about some imbalance that you couldn't quantify. By trying to change something that you didn't create, that you would bring about an imbalance of something that you couldn't quantify. So you don't try to overstep your bounds. You respect the boundaries in the life and the strength and the fragileness of it from a different perspective and a different energy. So you're from this other planet, and you happen to be traveling through the universe, and you happen to, in your travel of the universe, you're going to keep the universe in the same position that you found it. And you happen upon the planet known as Earth. And you look down and you see everyone and everything that's there. And you see from where you were on your planet to where the people are here. And you see them constantly in a state of confusion. And their state of confusion is constant because they've lost respect for what they can't quantify. They try to control everything. And in that controlling of everything, they lose control of the most important thing, themselves. And you see this from afar But the overall energy and the destructive nature of it is so powerful. It emits to where you can feel and you ask, what is that feeling? What is that energy? You feel the energy of a disturber in this beautiful planet. You realize that the disturbing energy is coming from this beautiful planet, and you take a closer look and you see it as it is. And because of where you come from on your planet, you realize the importance of not to interfere in anything, but to be a part of what you're supposed to be a part of, because you know who you are, because you've never walked away from it. So in that, you look upon and you see what's happening, and then you say, it's time for me to go, and you leave. And you leave it undisturbed by you. Why did I say that? Here's why. This is why we need to stop praying to the great creator. The great creator is not going to disturb what we've created. The imbalance that we allow ourselves to live under has made everything so unbalanced because we couldn't quantify what we were doing. But since that was your will to place that weight on that side, now you have an imbalance on another side that you can't see because your sight does not go through the ground. Your capabilities, your physical vision cannot penetrate the ground, but you didn't realize because you can't quantify it when you moved something that was not to be disturbed. You moved it because you wanted to control it. And now because you've done that, you've now created something else. And see, the system teaches us that there is someone, that the great creator is here for our beckoning call. I would say the great creator realized and built something that was perfect. Why would any change need to be made? Why would you disturb? Your free will was given to you perfectly. You can't pray your way into, pray or request your way out of. Everything is done by the energy that you decide to use. So just as that individual would leave respecting themselves enough to leave it alone. And it's one of the things that I think is so important for us to realize is that we have to start to respect ourselves, to leave things alone, and to position ourselves in understanding that there are a lot of things that we don't know. So before we start to try to so-called create something that is going to be for the better, when we are only limited in so many different ways, why don't we just allow what has been created already and respect it enough for it to have its process? And we live our process through it. This is why this falsehood, because when man wants you to pray to "In God We Trust," they really want you on your knees praying to them, because they've created this imbalance, and they want you to petition and obey. The great creator is not moved by this all. There's nothing wrong with it. The only thing that's wrong with it is that we walked away from what was naturally already given to us, and we can easily walk back. But you know what? That's a mile walk that's too far and too hard to do, because we're completely out of shape for that marathon. So we got a caller in queue. Want to bring this caller up. Welcome, caller. Area code is 803. You're on with Thando Radio Show. What's your name, where you're calling from, and what is your question or comment?
Hey, Dave. This is Davis King. Sister Erica, how are you today?
Hey, Sister Davis. Good, Sister Davis. How are you?
Good. And I listened to the video and everything, and everything's on point. But, you know, when you start talking about celestial stuff, now, you know you get my attention. But, brother, I'm telling you, all of this is going on, as crazy as it is, and it is the most insane play out of theatrics that it could be, with Trump acting up and the Saudis, and it's just crazy. I still say, in my opinion, this is my opinion, just like, and we all know right now, every eclipse, every solstice, every celestial being, as far as the planets that we know of, their orbits, we already know what each one of those are to the end of our time that we can, you know, put on paper. So I already know in my being that this is all being played out because there is something in this celestial body here that every so often they're talking about maybe coming around in orbit, maybe might hit the Earth, maybe something. And so what they do is they play these crazy things here on Earth so that nobody looks up, nobody pays that attention. But I know last night I looked up in the celestial skies, or maybe it was the night before, one of the nights. I saw a beautiful moon. And right beside that moon, I saw a beautiful, looked like a star. It was just right, just kissing the moon, just right beside it. So I got on the internet and said, what is that? Because I know that's something. That's not nothing. Mm-hmm. What is that? And I Googled it, and it's Jupiter. Jupiter. So to me, it looked like a star, but it's actually a planet. And, I mean, this sucker was gigantic. And they already know that that's there. They already mapped it, you know, did all the constellations for it. So you can't tell me that when all those Vaticans and all that went down to, I think it was Texas or New Mexico, on that big mound, and they put this telescope that cost a gazillion dollars. You can't tell me they wasn't looking for something.
Yeah.
Right. You can't tell me that they wasn't looking for something, mapping something, or know something's coming. Now, over the years, we've had crazy stories in the United States about this and that and this. But this Trump thing takes the cake of every story. The way he acts every day is something crazy. I mean, it's something totally ludicrous. You know, his wife acts crazy. He acts crazy. The money, the Saudis, the news commentators, everybody in the whole package is going crazy. So I do believe, you know, that they're downsizing, in a sense, depopulating the planet, because when this thing hits, and I'm not sure exactly what it is, but when this thing hits, they want as less people that they can deal with. And I think that has something to do with the whole plan. I saw on the internet that now in the UK, they're thinking of putting those chips into people, those, you know, every so often those RFID chip thing comes around, and they're talking about putting them in people so that they know where everybody is, and they know if they're a terrorist or whatever. Yeah, that's, you know, they're going to keep these bombings until everybody says, yeah, I want a chip. I want you to know where I'm at. I want you to know I'm not a terrorist. I want you to know if I am blown up, that's my body. You know, they're going to make so much terroristic situations unfold that people are going to run for this. And we already know that the financial system's about ready to bust. We know that, and different, there's been UFO sightings. They try to say, oh, well, there's not UFO. You don't know. Maybe there's some other entity that's coming here to tell us something. And we try not to pay them no attention. You know, we try to blow them out the sky. Right. And they might have an answer. They might be like, look, we know what's coming, and this is what you got to do. But you can't tell me that on the pillars of Egypt, written in stone, not on a piece of paper, not on a tablet that can papaya leaves or anything, but written in stone And even the Mayans had it written in stone that something was coming around this time in the orbit, around this time in the year. So to me, I think it's getting crazy just so we don't look up and see. That's just my opinion. I really, really think that it's coming. It's pulling the universe. It's creating weather patterns. It's creating tides. It's creating all these little black holes here in the country, which it would when you have an entity that big into our solar system. So what do you think about that?
Oh, come on, Sister Davis. You know, you and I in our conversation. Yes, I definitely. Sister Davis. What's that?
Oh, I said these are for the people that don't know. Our newcomers to our family of fans know. How about that?
Yes, and so Sister Davis. I'm glad that you said, because I think it's so true. One of the things that depopulating the planet brings is this. It brings more stability for the overall system. And I think that Sister Davis is absolutely in that. That is a very, very true statement, because it's very easy to have a calamity and have for people to be immensely distraught because they don't have a true, in my opinion, a true relationship with eternity. So everybody is all sad, crying, and distraught, stressed out. So what you do is you stress them out before, then a bad situation happens, and then you become in as a savior. It's called the hero syndrome. It's the hero syndrome. I know. I've seen it. It's so Sister Davis is absolutely right, in my opinion, on that one. And one of the things that with Sister Davis, if you don't know, I posted something from the University of Arizona where the actual part of the telescope of one of the largest telescope in the world, actually, and it has it's actually known as Lucifer. And Lucifer allows, and I posted this one is one we posted a long time ago. Lucifer instrument helps astronomy. This comes from Popular Science Technology. Lucifer instrument helps astronomers see through darkness to most distant observable objects. And remember what Lucifer is known as: the morning star, the light bringer, the illume one. And this is what is at the University of Arizona. It says this: a new instrument with an evil-sounding name is helping scientists. Stop right there. Tells you everything. See how stars are born. Telling you everything right there. Stars are born. Lucifer, which stands for deep breath, large binocular telescope, near infrared utilities with cameras and integral field units for extragalactical research, is a chilling instrument attached to a telescope in Arizona, and it is named for the devil. And yes, it is named for the devil. Notice it didn't say named after. Yes, it is named for the devil. It is named for the devil, not is named after, whose name itself means morning star. But it wasn't meant to invoke him, according to spokesman of the University of Arizona. Yeah, right. And that whole invoking is the energy. The whole energy. And Sister Davis, definitely, I totally agree. And I say this because, man, just wish we had more time. Need to bring this up. We'll do some more on this. But what's so significant about that is that when we look into the celestial skies, we no longer look into the celestial skies with our ancestral eyes. We look into the sky nowadays with the overall education, with the schooling of modern day man and their practices and their religions and their rituals and their Lucifer that is named after by their equipment that you pay for with your energy by working in this whole system. We've lost control of so much. We've lost control of ourselves.
You're absolutely true.
Go ahead, Sis Davis.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's absolutely true. You know, they're putting it right in front of everybody's eye, even to name that. They could have named it Turtle. You know, they didn't have to name it Lucifer. I mean, come on now. Even if it's acronyms to certain words, blah, 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 you know, they know what they're doing. You know, and we need to have a heads up to understand. Now, on the 21st of August, there's going to be a major solar eclipse. I mean, they are stopping everything. As a matter of fact, in certain areas where the eclipse is going to be, they are going to stop schools because some schools are in session that week of August. And they are going to have a vacation day because they don't want the sky turning totally dark, I won't say black, but totally dark at 3 o'clock in the afternoon when kids are on buses and things, because they don't know how people's going to react. This whole generation has never seen a total eclipse of the sun in this type of form. And as a matter of fact, when it crosses over the United States, it's going from the southern east coast to the northern west coast. And if you're not along that belt, you cannot see it. But they have this thing down to the actual second.
So true, Sister Davis. I think we lost her. Sister Davis, hold on. We got to get ready to get out of here. Go ahead, Scotty. Scotty's want to interject this something real quick. We're going to definitely come back to this. So important, because this was just a little segue for us to bring in some other conversations about it. Go ahead, Scotty.
Yeah, Dave, I actually should have asked you earlier. I just want your opinion or analysis. I was watching a little bit of CNN, as you call it, cerebral naive network, but I was watching some of that today. And 6 Arab Gulf nations have cut ties with Qatar, talking about they supporting terrorism. Mind you, Saudi Arabia is among those that's trying to accuse Qatar of supporting terrorism. And Qatar actually is home to some U.S. military bases. There are about 10,000 troops, U.S. troops, stationed there. And I'm trying to figure out what is Saudi Arabia and its allies' game here. Now, this is what I think. Qatar has normalized relationships. They have a pretty friendly relationship with Iran. And when I heard them this morning talking about, they've been supporting Iranian terrorist groups, I'm like, well, who the hell are they talking about? I mean, because Saudi Arabia has been documented their support of terrorism and transferring arms and even chemical weapons to them Syrian rebels and what have you. So what do you think about that? I don't know if you heard that report, but I'm trying to figure out what's the play here. What are they trying to play here?
Yeah, Scott, we put it in what's in the news, and we carried that in what's in the news today. We posted it, because remember, because they sever ties, and that's war. When you sever ties, that's war. My think is that it's another way into surrounding by way of war and destabilization by surrounding Iran, Iraq, and Syria. That overall pipeline, and this is significant. But this is Dave, also go ahead, Scotty.
Yeah, but okay, Tillerson made some pretty weak comments he said something like he trying to get them to work it out, because that actually puts the United States in a precarious position.
I think it puts the U.S. in a better position.
You think so? Qatar is hosting all of these troops.
To destabilize that area even further.
But Qatar is hosting over 10,000 U.S. troops.
U.S. Yeah, definitely. And so I think that why that is, Scotty, is that they want to totally destabilize that on so many fronts, and for supposedly allies to all of a sudden. Who would have ever thought that U.S. and U.S. and Canada and then everyone else would be at each other's throat the way that they are right now? Who would ever really thought that Germany and it would be moving and France would be moving towards Russia and China? You know, no one would. But what it does is, in my opinion, it destabilizes that area so much more so that you can do it. Remember, they're masters of proxy wars.
Right.
They're masters of this proxy war thing. So when they talk about the funding the terrorists and everything, because what that does is that reallocates position, attention, and more important, bribery in another direction. Oh man, they got I meant to actually read that one, Scotty, for today's show. I got kind of sidetracked off of it because we did talk about it. So we're gonna actually read that on Tuesday or Thursday. On Thursday, so because there's just so much in there that is going on that we need to take a look at. But hey, everyone, we gotta get ready to get out of here. Hey, great call, Sister Davis. Thank you. Scotty, great import. Strategic Melanin Sister, thank you for you just being you. So much. That appreciate you all. Listen, it's never goodbye. It's always we'll see you later. And before you ask for a fortune, make sure to give one away, Brother Bragg, if you can. Just chime us out of here and give me a call in the morning, Brother Bragg. We need to check out my man Big Roz. What's going on? I'll catch up with you too a little bit. Much love, much respect, y'all. Talk to you soon. Peace. Ooh, that was a good one, Brother Bragg.
Gold dinar would have had serious consequences for the world financial system, but may also have empowered the people of Africa, something black activists say the US wants to avoid at all costs.
We're slicing cake. We're slicing cake. We're slicing cake.
Say the US wants to avoid at all costs.
We're slicing cake.
Say the US wants to avoid at all costs. Gaddafi didn't give up. In the months leading up to the military intervention, he called on African and Muslim nations to join together to create this new currency that would rival the dollar and euro. They would sell oil and other resources around the world only for gold dinars. It's an idea that would shift the economic balance of the world. Countries' wealth would depend on how much gold they have, not how many dollars they trade. And Libya has $140